Hey everybody, welcome back to another edition of Nerding Out on the Creek. Coach Jack here, though I'm the only one who's been doing these so far. There's only been 4, so really you kind of know who I am. And if you don't, then hi, Coach Jack here. So anyway, we've done a series of workouts this week where I talked a lot about pacing. I talked a lot about the idea of intensity maintaining that intensity across the workout, using scaling to maintain that intensity. And so we come to the 4th workout in that series of this week. And it's kind of cool to see how when we did the one where it was a 9-minute AMRAP, as yesterday's version, it's a time priority, meaning I'm telling you how long you're going to work, which was 9 minutes. The unknown variable is how much work you're going to do in that 9 minutes. So pacing is incredibly important because if you stand around resting, staring at the bar, staring at the barbell, it was a power snatch and toes to bar increased across the 9 minutes by 3 reps each time. You come out too hot, you're gonna bonk, you're not gonna keep moving, you're not gonna do any work anymore. So pacing is critical, and that's where time, you can use reps per second to determine that pacing. But interestingly enough, Tuesday was also a pacing drill. It was just more about endurance and stamina and strength, because if you come out in too big of sets, you're gonna bonk, and now you can't do your pull-ups anymore. So today's workout is a task priority. 800-meter run, 40 burpees over the box, 800-meter run. And a lot of athletes will look at that and be like, it's not, right? I don't understand. There's nothing really complicated about that. Like, why would I bother doing it? But the reality is, if you don't come out fast enough, or if you come out too fast in that 800, if you're an 8-minute miler, let's say you're a 10-minute miler, that's 5 minutes of work. You got 40 burpees over the box. Let's say you hold somewhere around 8 to 10 burpees in a minute. That's about 4.5, 5 minutes of work. And the idea would be you'd come back in that second 800 at the same pace, 5, 5, 5. We're at about a 15-minute pace. Some folks were a little bit faster. They were able to run a little bit faster, maybe move those burpees a little bit faster. They were more in like the 10 to 12-minute mark. So that 10 to 15-minute range, very similar to our 9-minute AMRAP, very similar to our 10 to 15-minute range on Tuesday, very similar to our about 10 minutes of work on Monday. Basically the same time duration across all 4 of those workouts, or time domain across all 4 of those workouts, but 4 distinctly different workouts. Why? Well, some of you may have seen this before. It's called the hierarchy of fitness that CrossFit created. Greg Glassman created way back when, probably in the 90s, but published it in the journal in 2000. And if you look at this pyramid, the idea is that all of these things build on each other. This, nobody talks about. We won't talk about your nutrition. We'll save that for another day. But here we are at metabolic conditioning. The idea being that if you aren't fit enough to be able to process oxygen coming in, carbon dioxide going out, then the rest of this stuff really doesn't matter. And then on top of that, if you can't move your body through space around some sort of fixed object, aka gymnastics, then you have no business picking up a barbell or a dumbbell or any other thing that is external to your body, because you're gonna get hurt. And all that leads towards being better at some sort of sport. Learn and play new sports often. Coach Eric had our Saturday basketball pickup game, right? It was kind of cool to see those guys who hadn't played basketball in a while, that they were still able to perform maybe even better than they did when they were in high school or younger, when they were playing basketball more often, because they follow sort of this hierarchy. This week has been all about metabolic conditioning. We've been using weightlifting and gymnastics to improve this base of the pyramid. And it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can run a half a mile, do a bunch of burpees, run a half a mile. If you hold that consistent pace across, and you can hold yourself at about what feels like 80, 85% effort at the beginning, and maintain that same pace throughout, that effort, that relative perceived effort, RPE, might keep getting higher and higher, but your pace stays the same. You, ladies and gentlemen, are pretty metabolically conditioned at that point. So, kind of a fun little experiment. Friday it'll continue. We'll talk about, it's my take on the games version of their swimming stuff. We're calling it skiing stuff. Really, it's cat herding, because it's gonna be a lot of cats moving through the gym. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe give you a little assessment tomorrow in our next episode of Nerd Down the Creek. See you in the box.